Hey guys, Keo Lancer here. Want to another Keo Lancer Gaming? Don't forget the bell button, subscribe button to get notifications to my channel. I found some cool gaming interesting news here, guys, on the Game Rant site done by Jared. Okay, Final Fantasy IX devs want to continue the story. A new interview with Takashi may imply the developers at Square Enix are ready to start expanding the story of Final Fantasy IX. That's very interesting. I see my older brother Mugen Lord play Final Fantasy IX as a kid. I watched him from beginning to end play this game and beat the game. And the ending was really interesting. Fighting the last boss, and the last boss stating that you'll never be able to get rid of him and stuff like that due to the evil and the malice in the world. So that's very interesting. But also the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles kind of almost reminds me of the designs too. And I always thought that was pretty cool. A new interview celebrating Final Fantasy IX on the game's 20th anniversary has given a huge insight into the game's development as well as the intentions of the developers. While the game might not be getting a Final Fantasy VII style remake, it looks like it may be in the running for some sort of expansion on the story. Now that's definitely going to get my older brother hyped, an expansion to the story. This comes from an interview with the RPG site where Tetsuya, I think his name. I keep butchering his name. Gave his impressions of the Final Fantasy IX 20 years later in the interview. All right, Tetsuya spoke on a number of subjects involved in the game's development, as well as lingering desire to expand on the already lore-filled title. Okay, in the interview, he remarks that even this long after the game was originally published, he still thinks about Final Fantasy IX and the story that it told. Further, which titles in the series, like Final Fantasy VII Remake, currently in development, new stories within the game's world. In addition, on the series' last Hurrah on the PlayStation isn't out of the question. What this would look like, however, is still yet to be seen. And even in the sentiment, he expressed and implies that plans are not in the works for upgrades to the game, which is sad. I would be delighted if, respecting the wishes of the original development team, there could one day be the opportunity to continue the story of Final Fantasy IX, which meant so much to all of us. That's a quote by him, guys, which is cool. An expansion onto the Final Fantasy IX would likely be welcomed by the dedicated fan base for the game. This would be especially appreciated by the fans looking for more answers into some of the mysterious surroundings the game, like the source of characters like Ozma and Necron. With so much of the game's message about death and purpose explained so perfectly, some of the dangled threads that fed fan discussions would be a great place to start with future development. It's hard to say Final Fantasy IX isn't one of the strongest in the series. Personally, Final Fantasy IX was better than 8 to me. Personally, I liked it 8, but 9 was better. It was better. A lot of talk in the Game Informer series, Game Informer magazine expressed that Final Fantasy VIII was basically in part a love story. I didn't see none of that in there. Final Fantasy IX was more so a love story to me compared to 8 when it came to that aspect. So I don't know what the heck they were talking about in that Game Informer. Okay, acting as a return to form in a time when the series had been moving from medieval fantasy to science fiction. Additionally, with new fans coming to the game from re-release through platforms like Steam, Xbox Game Pass, the base is larger than ever. So with support, Square Enix has already gotten the success of seeing some of these past games brought into the modern era of gaming. It should be an easy decision to see where the developers can take the future of the game. Now, I would be excited to see the world expanded for this game. Would it take it a little bit into the future, like after Zidane or Zidane, whatever which way you want to say it, like, would it be years after that, or will it still be taking place with those same characters? But I like we could use some new characters for, you know, refreshment, but also to bring newer people into the series. Like, make it a sequel, but not solely strong on the sequel aspect, because you want to grab those new people to bring them into the world of Final Fantasy 9. And that's just my opinion when it comes down to it, guys. But anyway, that about does it, guys, for this gaming news. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment below and let me know what you think of this, guys. Let me know, do you think that they should expand on the series and introduce new characters and have it be about new characters? Or do you think they should use the same characters like Zidane and Dagger and the rest of them? Guys, don't forget the bell button, subscribe button to get the notifications to my channel. Don't forget the thumbs up button, guys. It definitely helps me in the algorithm, guys. That is the like button, guys. This is Keo Lancer, and we got more.